Today we're counting down the top 10 Digimon cards with security tag +1. For the purposes of this list, this will include Digimon with security tag +1 printed anywhere on the card. This includes Digimon who only have it in their inheritable effect. Let's get straight to the countdown. Starting us off at number 10 is P25 GranKuwagamon. GranKuwagamon is one of the simpler cards on this list and just reads, Main, Digiburst 2. Trash 2 as Digimon's Digivolution cards to activate the effect below. Whenever your Digimon gains security tag +1, this Digimon checks one additional security card for the turn. The amazing thing about GranKuwagamon is that it could activate its Digiburst effect as long as it can meet the requirements, and stack up a devastating amount of security tag +1s. Paired with its sources, it could either gain memory to extend turn, or set up a memory choke on the opponent when discarded from sources, or gain jamming to not worry about Digimon insecurity. However, more often than not, your DP was big enough that you could forgo the option for more utility in your sources. GranKuwagamon was only really worried about options and security, but it was very susceptible to them when they did come out. The card also has nothing else going for it. It wins big or bust in its purest form. If your opponent is developing a scary board, you have to answer it and forgo your security checks. Green could climb quickly though with its reduction effects and cheap costs, so this card was eventually powerful enough to limit to 1 on the ban list. Despite that, we'll soon see a security tag +1 Digimon doesn't have to just be all in on the keyword. Next up, at number 9 is P008 WereGarurumon. One of the earliest cards in the game, first releasing as a promo in V-Jump magazine in Japan. WereGarurumon reads, when attacking, once per turn, if this Digimon has a Garurumon Digivolution card, unsuspend this Digimon. And inheritable, your turn, while you have 8 or more cards in your hand, this Digimon gains security attack +1. WereGarurumon was an extremely powerful card during the BT9 format because of its part in contributing to the Gabumon X Antibody line's OTK strategy, and continues to do so all the way up until finally being limited to 1 by Bandai. WereGarurumon has an incredibly easy teaming condition to unsuspend for a second attack, contributing to the high amount of security checks this used to do, and they were more often than not safe attacks when paired with the Garurumon X Antibody line. Its inheritable grants a conditional security attack +1 if you have 8 or more cards in hand. This wasn't hard for the deck to meet, however, with the draw on attack effects on cards in Archetype, and Digimon in general being a game of large hand sizes with no upper limit. After spending all its attacks, WereGarurumon would allow you to go into WereGarurumon X to unsuspend and now swing for 2 more checks. If this sounds familiar already, it's because Booster Set 9, when the X Antibody Digimon first came out, was a huge power creep set, suddenly turning anything relevant into an OTK deck, causing so many decks to play the same. Even against Security Control, which was popular at the time, this was so much pressure to keep up with at only the level 5. This card enabled powerful ripping through opponent's securities. However, you still had to choose between an opponent's board or attacking security, which is something we'll see some cards didn't have to make the choice between later on, and you still had to build up to its security attack +1 condition, which, while yes, not the hardest condition, if you drew the wrong cards, it could take longer to get online, which was painful in an OTK fast meta. At number 8 is ST14-8 Beelzemon. Beelzemon reads, when digivolving, trash the top 4 cards of your deck. All turns, once per turn, when a card is trashed from your deck, gain 1 memory for every 10 cards in your trash. Your turn, once per turn, when a card is trashed from your deck, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. Beelzemon's security attack +1 effect is conditional, but it's a condition that not only can it activate itself when digivolving, it can keep doing so every turn with the inheritable effects in its archetype. Its former effect to gain memory also ensures it can keep turn to attack the same turn it comes out if you're managing your trash well. Beelzemon was incredibly strong, not only for being able to do so many security checks, but mainly for so efficiently enabling its mill archetype by sending 4 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard instead of just 1 or 2. Depending on what it sends and how many cards are in your trash, Beelzemon could enable anywhere from getting a boatload of memory to deleting your opponent's level 6 Digimon. All this before being able to digivolve into Beelzemon X and safely trash security for reduced cost. A lot of this, however, was dependent on the cards it discarded going in its favor and felt like playing the world's most powerful slot machine. Because of that risk, however, this card could only go as high as number 8. Roaring in at number 7 is X8016 Dinomon. His effect is Digivolve from a level 5 with Tyrannomon in name or with the dinosaur trait for only a cost of 4. Security attack +1 and Fortitude, which means if this Digimon has sources underneath it and is deleted, it can come back, play it on the field without the sources. On play, when digivolving, you may suspend 1 Digimon, then delete when your opponent suspended Digimon with the lowest DP. Opponent's turn, while his Digimon is suspended, all of your opponent's Digimon can only attack suspended Digimon. Fortitude is quite literally Booster Set 2 Leviamon's effect condensed into a keyword. This makes his swings its security safer if he has sources and allows him to get his on play again if dying to a security check. It also makes answering him painful as he potentially could destroy the very thing that could finally get rid of him on the field with his Fortitude effect. The effect also working on digivolving means Dinomon never misses a chance chance to get rid of an enemy Digimon and doesn't always have to choose between answering board or attacking security. Finally, in addition to being great offensively, Dinomon is the first on our list to offer a proactive effect on the opponent's turn. While Beelzemon technically did if a card was discarded from your deck on the opponent's turn, it's matchup dependent and telegraphed, or depends on your security. While Dinomon, by simply existing, forces your opponents to answer it before they can get to your security. It's a very sticky Digimon that is quite painful once it comes out, putting a lot of pressure on the opponent. And usually, a big guy coming back after death isn't the scariest thing since it's more or less a vanilla, but because of its on play and still being able to do 2 security checks without sources because of naturally having an unconditional security attack +1, Dinomon is a menace. Our number 6 is none other than BT17-41 ShineGreymon Burst Mode Ace. Its effect reads, Digivolve from ShineGreymon for the cost of 4 instead of 5, hand, counter, blast Digivolve, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into this card without paying the cost. On play or when Digivolving, you may play 1 tamer card from your hand without paying the cost. Then, one of your opponent's Digimon gets 5000 DP for the turn for each of your tamers. When attacking, by suspending up to 2 of your yellow tamers for each one, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. Being a level 7, ShineGreymon Burst Mode is going to be allowed to go a little crazier than other things we've seen on this list so far. Being able to play a tamer is huge for the ShineGreymon strategy and gets the number up for its DP minusing effect to destroy opponent's Digimon. Being a higher level card and an ace, it will most likely never have to choose between answering board or attacking security, as it's likely being dropped for its effect to answer a stubborn Digimon. While its security +1 effect is conditional, it's a very easy one for its archetype to meet. Being able to potentially come out for free is also a gigantic boon over other cards on the list. Unfortunately, its greatest strength is also its greatest liability, making it potentially lose you 5 whole memory if it's deleted. This could potentially be so game swinging that it could only limit it to number 6 on this list. Biting at the bit to get into our list is Leviamon X5-63 at number 5. Leviamon reads Security Attack +1. On play or when Digivolving, if your opponent has as many or more total Digimon and Tamers as you, delete one of your opponent's highest level Digimon, then delete one of your opponent's lowest level Digimon. All turns, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory for each Digimon deleted. We're off to a great start by having the Security Attack +1 being unconditional and always present. Leviamon is further bolstered by having its main effect be both on play and when Digivolving, so you're never worried about missing out on it. And it's a powerful effect clearing multiple bodies potentially, not just one big one. Oftentimes, to play around effects that only delete highest level Digimon, opponent will play out a rookie to tank the hit, but Leviamon gets around this. This is all on top of paying back memory for using its effect once opponent's Digimon are deleted. This is also a proactive effect on opponent's turn, potentially messing with plays they had planned or even passing turn when an opponent's Digimon is deleted by security, for example. Combined with cards like Biting Crush and Dragomon threatening to get out Leviamon again for free and forcing the Biting Crush, Leviamon becomes incredibly difficult to play around setting off its effect, thus limiting the opponent's moves. This made it great into a format where Numamon was one of the most seen decks as it relied heavily on playing out Digimon by effect in the Booster Set 15 meta. At number 4, we have another stuck in jail pal with BT7-64 DoruGreymon. This card's effect reads, when Digivolving, you may place 1 black card with X antibody and its traits on your hand at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to prevent effects from deleting it or reducing its DP until the end of your opponent's turn. Inheritable, while this Digimon has X antibody in its traits, it gains security attack +1. At the time of its release, DoruGreymon had one of the absolute best protection effects in the game. By doing something that benefits its strategy and is incredibly memory efficient, it gains protection from not only deletion, but at the time, the infinitely more common method of removal that is reducing a Digimon's DP to 0. This made it greatly positioned into meta decks all the way from its inception to Booster Set 10. It's inheritable being the security attack +1 with an easy condition to meet, as every level of the deck would include some X antibody, is the icing on the cake. During the first few sets it existed, it wasn't anything too crazy, with only a balanced top end to take advantage of it at the time. However, with Booster Set 9 came the new Alphamon line, including Alphamon Uryuken. This protection to such a powerful boss monster that could get itself a second turn made DoruGrey a monster. DoruGrey, working generically with anything X antibody, also made it one of the best things in its color, and forever limits what you could print for X antibody support in not only black, but also potentially anything dual color that was half black. For this reason, it was limited to 1 during the Booster Set 10 format in 2022, and top 3 in our list. At number 3, is BT17-17 AncientGreymon. AncientGreymon is finally another unconditional security attack +1 Digimon on this list. Something that wasn't terribly common outside of normal climb level 6s for a healthy amount of the game's life. But AncientGreymon isn't a Digimon that you have to normally climb all the way up to. You can warp Digivolve into it with the effect of Agunimon, and it also has Digi Cross 3, which lets you place up to specifically 1 Agunimon and 1 Greymon underneath it and reduces on play cost by 3 for each. With the powerful inheritable effects in Red Hybrid, this leads to some terrifying pressure out of nowhere. Its first effect reads, on play, when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. So whether you climbed into it or hard-played it on the field with Digicross, this AncientGreymon always has the ability to answer a scary body on board without sacrificing its multiple attacks into security. Its on deletion effect, return one Tamer card and one hybrid trait Digimon card from your trash to the hand, then you may play one Tamer card from your hand without paying the cost, is also absurdly powerful to keep the loop of its game plan going and recycle Tamers and hybrids, keeping pace with its opponent despite your big scary monster being deleted. AncientGreymon Security Attack +1 plus Security Attack +1 from sources and its recursion ability makes this deck unbelievably explosive, ending the game in about 2 or 3 checks if there's no shenanigans from security or if your opponent doesn't have an answer. However, it is incredibly archetype specific and needs the specific pieces to function, which we are just about to see the top dogs of this list necessarily are not. For our number 2 spot, we have BT20-37 Chaosmon Volderarm. Volderarm is a level 7 that has a non-conditional, always available Security Attack +1 as well as Partition. Partition reads, when this Digimon with each of the specified Digivolution cards will leave the battle area other than by your effects or a battle, you may play one of each of the specified cards without paying the costs, forcing your opponent to answer this huge, potentially over 15,000 DP Digimon with battle only, making it one of the toughest things to answer on this list. The rest of the effect is as follows. It can Digivolve for free from a yellow level 6 plus a green or black level 6 for the cost of 0. And when Digivolving, for each of this Digimon's level 6 Digimon cards, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers and gain 1 memory. Then, none of your Digimon or Tamers can activate on-play effects or suspend until the end of their turn. This is huge. If you DNA Digivolve into it, you actually gain memory instead of paying. If you Digivolve into it as a tech choice to follow up your level 6 plays, which is what it's seeing use as currently, you get a reasonably reduced cost and suspend an opponent's Digimon or Tamer. The stun effect, however, is huge. Tamers are more important than ever, in some cases shutting off a whole deck's game plan like the hybrid decks, effectively costing many opponents a turn. Oftentimes, this is the final push its deck needs to go for game by buying that extra turn. It can work great in many decks as well because of its generic and dual color nature. And yet, there is somehow still a way to go even further beyond. Coming in at our coveted number 1 spot is X7-23 Hexeblaumon. This card's effect reads, Security Attack +1 and Ice Clad. Other than against Security Digimon, compare the number of Digivolution cards instead of DP in this Digimon's battles. When Digivolving, trash any 4 Digivolution cards under your opponent's Digimon. Then, if your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards, return one of their Tamers to the bottom of the deck. Opponent's turn, none of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer Digivolution cards as this Digimon can suspend. This card just does so much so well while being generic for many blue decks to consider, most recently seeing obnoxious success to the chagrin of many Digimon players in WereGarurumon decks, so much so that one of the Mirage cards finally got limited to 1, and soon to be popular in Galaxy decks. Ice Clad is a fantastic battle effect, completely ignoring all the effort opponents put into building up their Digimon that makes it a little tough to answer. And it fuels up the effect itself with its when Digivolving effect. Yet, that's not even the primary reason you want to strip the sources. If it successfully meets the condition, Hexeblaumon gets to perform one of the most powerful methods of removals to Tamers who are only recently finally starting to get hate that is allowed to target them. Tamers are more important than ever to the game, becoming many crucial pieces of a deck's game plan, giving them additional effects or memory, not just setting the player to 3 memory. In decks like Imperial, the dual color Tamers are invaluable extenders helping to keep turn and your aggression up. To the bottom of deck is arguably the best removal in this game because you are 9 times out of 10 not seeing it again. If it was deleted, it would go to the trash, which purple hybrids for example can easily grab back, and if it was bounced to hand, sure, it's annoying to have to pay for it again, but they can play it back out later. With no tutor searchers like Yu-Gi-Oh, bottom of deck is as good as goodbye in this game. And its final line of text is a proactive effect on your opponent's turn, all but stopping them from playing the game until they can answer Hexeblaumon or get more sources. All while doing a devastating 2 security checks before factoring in boosts from its inheritable effects makes this the best card with Security Attack +1 in Digimon. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed our countdown, make sure to leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. To the DualLogs, that is of course. An invaluable many thanks to Tessero, often cited as the best purple player in North America, for helping put this list together. They stream on Twitch very regularly, please check them out and give them a follow. Have a great April Fool's Day everyone.